Okay, welcome. I am here with, I'm here with Kayla Pitts. Kayla Pitts is a voice actor. I listened to a couple of her stuff, and the clarity in her voice and the confidence that she carried, and I just wanted to have a bit of a chat with her, and we're here today. It's beautiful. Welcome, Kayla. Good to have you on here. Now, I would just say Kayla is, she has a background in psychology and government contract management, a voice actress, an audio producer from New Hampshire, creator and host of the Voiceover Playground on Clubhouse. Interesting.
Yep.
Content creator for the global nonprofit organization Women in Voice. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make welcome Kayla Peace, people.
Oh, it's so great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for finding the time to join me. I am grateful. I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Today we are talking on building your confidence as a voice actor, right? Because I feel that this is an important topic to discuss as voiceover talents. Now, why I felt that was important is because as a voiceover actor or voiceover talent, voiceover artist, whichever name you decide to see to call it, you need a level of confidence to even first self-confidence and then the confidence in what you do as a voice talent. But before all of that, let's talk about you. What's your voiceover story?
um, my voiceover story. So how I got into voiceover.
Mhm.
Um, so like you said, I have a background in psychology. So I spent most of my schooling in that field. And then when I graduated with my bachelor's degree, I worked in the field for less than a year. I burnt out. Um, the job that I was working was very challenging. It's hard when you're a psychology major and you're in between deciding whether you're going to go for your master's degree or like moving up the next step in education. And when you're in that middle level, the jobs are limited
Right.
and they're very challenging and difficult. So I was working in a with clients who were aggressive and across the autism spectrum, who were younger than me, like 12 and younger. And I had 12-hour shifts where I was with these clients for that entire time. I would, wake them up, make their meals, bring them to whatever counseling sessions they may have had, or if they had like groups that they would go to if they wanted to go to the library, or we would go to other events. And it was a very challenging job, because sometimes they would like become aggressive and you would like have to restrain a client, or they would try to physically harm you, or like gross things like they would try to pee on you.
Mm.
And it was a very challenging job, and you would feel there were moments where it was rewarding, but there were moments where it was really challenging. And as a kid, I was very much open to playing with my voice to entertain people like my family. I would do Steve Irwin impressions for them and it would make them laugh. But when I got into like high school and like uh, was going through puberty, I really clammed up. I was like, I don't want to be the class clown, so I'm not going to talk. And I didn't
Right.
talk a lot. So people who would see me now are like, Kayla, a voice actor, like she was the quiet girl in the back of the class reading a book the whole time. Like, what is she doing using her voice professionally? But when I was working in the field, I had a client who I would really enjoy working with, and he was visually impaired, so a lot of his stimulus had to come from other things,
Mm.
tactile things, or auditory was a big one. So he was a one-to-one, so one counselor to one client,
Mm.
and when I worked with him, I was basically I like my clamshell opened right back up. I was a walking radio for this kid, and I would sing songs for him that were popular on the radio. I would just make sound effects while we were walking, I was like his favorite counselor because I did that for him, but it also like reawakened that childhood part of me. And just by chance, my younger brother, was looking into being a voice actor right before the pandemic started. And I'm very research oriented and I like to help him with things. So I was doing a lot of research with him into what that would entail to become a voice actor. And as we were pulling all of the stuff up and coming up with the attack plan, he decided it wasn't what he wanted. And I was like, I think this is exactly what I want to do with my life. So that's how I ended up like stumbling into it. And then I had an opportunity to have my voice they like an expert listens to it and then tells you like how they think that your voice would do professionally, if you would get work or make money. And they thought that I had a chance. So that was all I had to hear. And then I was off and running.
Well, that was good enough. It felt like you were running away from it, and then somehow it caught up with you again. That's good. Your
Yeah.
story is inspiring. Thank you for sharing that. Now, let's talk about something. I think half the time people don't talk about these things, and that's your embarrassing moment as a voiceover so far, and then your most fulfilling moment. If you can remember any, okay, just share what has been your most embarrassing moment so far as a voiceover talent, and your most fulfilling moment.
When you say embarrassing, the first thing that comes to mind is when I had a profile on a pay to play site, and I got directly reached out to by by a group that said that they worked for the Red Cross. And the Red Cross is a huge organization, global. They said they had listened to my stuff, that they were interested in getting more like clips from me, demos. They wanted to work with me. And this was very early in my career. Like I had a website, but it was in its first evolution of itself. I had nothing impressive going on. I just had my demos up there. And I got really excited. I thought, wow, I have this great opportunity. I wonder how often this happens to people. And it turns out, I mean, I did my due diligence. I reached out to people that I know, who've helped me through coaching or who I looked up to in the industry, and asked them their opinion on how to approach this. Some of them I even mentioned, like it's the Red Cross,
Right.
And then turns out like I get an email later from the pay to play site saying, that's a scam. Make sure you don't talk to those people. They're trying to steal something from you. And that, I was so red in the face. I was so embarrassed. And I had already like told people about it. Not that they followed up with me, but I think but it was such a learning experience to just not trust. Like, if you think that it's too good to be true and that you're not there yet, maybe you're not.
Right.
maybe take some extra steps and do a little bit more research. And I didn't have anything stolen, luckily. Like I did reach out to those people, and but that would be my most embarrassing moment, I think, that comes to mind so far.
Amazing stuff. I'm happy for you. At least you're fine and good. You didn't get anything stolen from you, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's good enough. So what gives you joy in being a voiceover talent, or what makes you happy using your voice, listening to your voice, or something that you worked on? What makes you really happy around it?
I mean, that's kind of a hard question for me to answer. Because like just the act of using my voice gives me joy, which I think is why it was inevitable for me to find this path. Like being the kid who was always in class, like, oh, I'll read the next passage, I'll read out loud. I don't care. I'll read in front of the whole class. I'll read the whole book if you want. And then just like having that shut down, now that it's reawakened, it's like, I can't think of anything else I would rather do with my life. And every time that I'm recording something or trying to speak intentionally with my voice, I just I have great joy. It gives me great joy to do that. And on top of that, the business aspect of being a voice actor and a voice artist, where you have to do all of that other stuff, falls into like all of every past job that I've had has sort of primed me to be good at those things. So like they're skills that I have already that I'm just compounding on while getting to do something that I love. So like, I like doing the admin stuff. I like making emails and writing things, and having to market myself is kind of a pain sometimes, but it is enjoyable. You create content, and that's fun. But like all of it, every aspect of it, I just love all of it.
That's good. I'm happy for you. You're living the good life.
Thank you.
Now
You're doing well too. I mean, you're just cutting yourself short at every corner.
Thank you. So let's talk about building confidence as a voice actor. I think that's why we're even here, okay, to talk about this particular topic, because I realize that sometimes there's a, how will I put it? Sometimes you want to be a voice talent. You really want to do it, but you don't have the confidence. It's just like some people, they don't like to listen to their voice or play back their voices because they don't like how it sounds. It simply means that you don't have the confidence enough to sell your voice to someone, but you really want to do it, right? So how would you say one should go about building confidence as a voice talent? Or let's draw it from you. How did you build your confidence? Right?
Yeah.
From your story so far.
I think the answer to both of those is you start with yourself. You have to be confident in the person you are. I mean, as well, you have to know who you are to be able to have control of your voice and use it in a way that's authentic and not fake. And that requires a level of knowing who you are and who you want to be in the future. And that's definitely what has attributed to a lot of my confidence, is loving myself for who I am and constantly working towards the version of myself that I look up to being. And it gives you a place to be comfortable speaking your truth, or like speaking authentically, because you believe in yourself when you're confident. When you love yourself and you know what you're doing, you come from a place of authority. And that's where you get the confidence that comes through in your voice, because you know who you are and you know what you're talking about, even though sometimes you don't know what you're talking about. But that place where you're comfortable, that's your foundation. And that foundation is so important, I think, to building your confidence. And it starts with like being confident in yourself. And the other aspect that you mentioned before, there's two sides of it. So once you're confident in yourself and you're working on it, and you start being able to take control of your voice, and then you can put your voice out there, it requires another level of confidence to continue to put your voice out there, because there's a lot of rejection, just constant rejection. And you have to be confident enough in yourself that there is a job out there for me. There is a job that fits my voice that I can rock, and I'm going to keep going until I find it. Because if you stop when you get a rejection, you're not going to get a year into voice acting. You're not going to get a month into voice acting.
And then to add to that, I don't think that it's generally how how long you've been in the space, or you've come in contact with voiceover artistry. It's a deliberate. I think building confidence is intentional, right? It's what you decide, especially when you don't have a background that helped your confidence, right? You have to deliberately say, okay, I want to, because if you don't have, some level of confidence, you won't be able to even put a price to your voice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's assume that you feel, oh, my voice is really doesn't sound great enough, and someone asks you, so how much? Like, I mean, here in Nigeria, you probably be asked, how much would you charge for
Hmm.
this particular, for this 60 seconds radio? And you realize that you can't put a price to it, because somehow you're even helping the clients to think. You're thinking for the client, maybe doesn't have that much money to pay me. Should I just
Hmm.
say 10,000 naira or 20? 20,000 is too much. And then that same job, someone might charge 100,000 naira for that same job, but because you don't have enough confidence, you realize that you should change yourself. So for you, I just think generally for you to be successful as a voiceover talent, you have to have some level of confidence, because it will even show in your voice, how you talk, your ability to manipulate your voice, your ability to be confident, your ability to listen back to what your voice sounds like, your ability to tell yourself, oh, I'm rocking this, like you said, I'm doing this
Yeah.
perfectly well. I think it all comes from you having that confidence, believing in yourself and your ability, or what you can deliver to a client. So I think generally, for a way to start is start practicing, start putting your voice to work. Now, some people cannot start conversations. Some people cannot ask questions when they're amongst friends, or when they are somewhere new. They won't do all of that, right? That's a
Hmm.
level of not having enough confidence in yourself. But I mean, some people can function like that. But if you want to become successful in voiceovers, you have to try as much as you can to start having those kind of conversations. Start trying to, build your confidence, right? And then even back while I mean, when I was growing up, I was a very timid child. Okay, I wouldn't talk to anyone. I would not engage in any. They call them rough play for this play. You know what rough play? Rough play is like, it's a we speak pidgin. There's something called pidgin in Nigeria. It says rough play. That means your play and rough together. Rough play. You
Hmm.
understand? So things like that, I would never engage. Okay. I would never, even throughout my primary school, it's called primary school, secondary school. I would not, I never, spoke to a girl. Like, if I like a girl, I would be so afraid that I would not even have a conversation with her anymore. Right. That was how timid I was. Right. But
Yeah.
at some point, I realized that that was not helping me. And for me to even use my voice or do anything like that, I had to start, you know, talking, start expressing myself. And then here I am.
That's truly what it is. It's an expression of yourself. And when you don't use it, I mean, for me, I mean, I personally feel like when I don't use it, I there's a part of myself that's incomplete. I'm not myself if I'm not using my voice. And I think that that's similar. Like when you clam up and you're not expressing yourself, you're not living to your fullest
Mm-hmm.
experience of life at all, or your fullest
Absolutely.
potential. You cut yourself
Absolutely.
short.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Now, final words. Okay. I promised that this was not going to be long. Okay. Final words. What would you say to those guys who are just trying to start out, who are just thinking whether they can function around voiceovers, who don't have the confidence enough to start on this journey? What would you want to, what piece of advice would you really just want to give them?
Okay. Um, I think two things are very important. One, move with purpose, which people who follow me on my media and stuff, and other interviews that I've had before have heard me say this before. Moving with purpose is extremely important. You need to know why you're doing what you're doing. Every step of the way, every little step. Is it bringing you to the next step? Is it something that's going to help you grow? Is it something that's going to create an obstacle for you in the future? And I think that by focusing on that, not only is it easier for you not to get caught up in, am I good enough? You should be too busy focusing on what you're doing to get caught up in thinking that way.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing I think also, which will cut into that, which is very important, is if you want to get into this, surround yourself with messages that will affirm that for you, which is the other thing that I do with my media. That all of those inspirational messages and quotes that I post are mostly for me, and they're a place for me to go back and remember that I am enough and that I am worthwhile, that I have what it takes. And if you surround yourself with those positive messages and you constantly move with purpose, I feel like that there's no way for you to fail at trying to do something that you want to do. So that would be my advice to anybody starting out is that you need to move with purpose, and you need
Move
to
with purpose.
surround yourself with positive affirmations.
So if you don't go away with anything today, move with purpose. Be intentional about your growth. Be intentional about your confidence. It's important. You just need to do that. Except, of course, you don't want to be successful as a voiceover talent. But if you want to be, you know what to do. All right. Okay, so thank you so much. It's been amazing. But before you go, I like to do this thing. I want to teach you pidgin English. There's something called pidgin English in Nigeria.
Okay.
It's spelled P-I-D-G-I-N. Pidgin.
Pidgin.
Yes, pidgin English. So if I want
Pidgin
to
English.
say how are you, I will say something like how you day. Kayla,
How you day?
How you day now?
How you day?
How you day now?
How your day now?
How you day?
How your day?
Yeah, I define.
How your day?
I define. You unko.
What is that?
so you asked me how am I, and I said I am fine. I define. You see how I say how you day. If you so ask me how you day.
How your day?
I define. You unko. That means how about you?
My day fine.
you were smart there. No, you see, yeah. I did fine.
I did fine.
That's it.
I did fine.
Yeah.
How your day?
That again. I did fine. I did fine. You unko.
I did fine.
Correct. You be sharp, girl. You be sharp.
What does that mean?
You be sharp, girl. That means you're sharp. That means you're smart. That's what it means.
Oh, geez. Je ne comprends pas. Do you speak any other languages?
Well, in Nigeria, there were like 36 states, and those states speak different languages. And then in that state, there are still different languages sometimes. Like I'm from a state called Edo State. In my states, there are several other languages. And then some Nigerians can speak other languages, because of maybe you grew up or you were born in a particular state. Like I speak my language, that is Edo State. I also speak Hausa. Hausa is the northern area of Nigeria, because I was born, I grew up around, the northern states. And then I am in Lagos. Lagos is like the, commercial hub or commercial capital of Nigeria. It's like the biggest city in Nigeria. And I'm in Lagos, so I understand a bit of the Western language, it is Yoruba. I understand. Then Yoruba. Somehow it's intertwined. Some people understand like all of the tribes, or like the three. So there are three major languages in Nigeria. The other ones, three major languages and other ones. So there's the English, which is like general. Then there's the Hausa, the Igbo, and the Yoruba. Those are like the three biggest major languages. Every other language is just, so some people understand all of these languages. So you realize that they can speak three, four languages. And,
Wow.
you know, it's interesting.
Wow.
And the good thing is that we do voiceovers with all of these languages, at least the four major languages. So there's English, there's Igbo, Yoruba, so there's voiceovers for, you know, voiceover jobs around all of those languages in
That's
Nigeria.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then
wish
and
I
then
wish
and
I
then
spoke.
there's pidgin. Pidgin is like an additional, it's like a broken pidgin or broken English. Yeah, broken
Hmm.
English. So
Hmm.
so it's from English language, but it's not it's
A
not just
different way of
it's a
speaking.
different way
Yeah.
of speaking. So if you're
Yeah.
in Nigeria, it's like the slang around here. So there's
Hmm.
voiceovers for pidgin. So half the time when brands want to run campaigns and all that, they send in copies for the English, there's the pidgin, there's the Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo. So usually like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Thank
It's
you
been so
so
cool to talk to you. It's so crazy
right.
that
Same
you're like
here.
all the way over there. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. It's amazing. I think you should leave your social media handles so that people can just connect with you, you know, follow you and all that online.
Yeah,
Definitely.
sure.
Yeah.
It's at Kayla Pitts Voice,
At
at Kayla Pitts Voice on Instagram, and at KaylaPittsVoice.com if you want to check out my website.
that's almost sound like you're reading a script for voiceovers.
Nope, I have nothing written right here. Nothing at all. Oh, but I did want to ask you too. Are you on Clubhouse?
Yeah, I know of Clubhouse, but I'm not. I am not.
Okay.
I don't know why that's the truth.
Yeah.
I can't say there's a specific reason because I've really not checked it out, but I think I should. I really should because I've heard too much of Clubhouse. I should just check it out. Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a lot. It's definitely an entire other social media platform. So if you have time for that, then definitely check it out. It's a time, it's a time waster, but there's a lot of cool things on there. And if you ever want to drop into the voiceover playground,
Yes,
um,
I will
yeah.
I will do that. Because of you, I will just go check it out and then stop by. Definitely.
Yeah. Awesome.
Kayla, thank you so much. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you. All right. I think that's about it. Let me let you go.